good fight. I thought his daddy stopped too early, though.
Why? What would you have done if you were in there? Continue going?
He a warrior. Let him fight. He wore that Marvin Hagler shit. Let him fight.
What's going on? This Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. Last night, the boxing gods delivered us Shawn Porter versus Bud Crawford, and it was definitely a good fight. That was a legacy-defining fight. Very controversial. Before I go right into that, I want to talk about Isaac Dogbo and how they actually robbed Pitufo Diaz. Diaz clearly won that fight. That was the talk of the town, just like the night before when Jessica Camara got robbed by Katie Reese. It's a pattern here, the way these fights are being judged, which leads me up into this fight. As always, in hindsight, it's 2020 because after somebody gets stopped, the judges turn in their scorecard and you see how they actually viewed the fight. Most of the time, it seems as though if the fight was being stopped, then they were actually going to be scoring it for the person who actually stopped their opponent. However, it was very controversial because the title of this video is Bud Stopped Shawn, ... the Porter way.
I'll take him out of the car and make him look Porter.
Why you say the Porter way, Mike? Because Kenny Porter actually stopped the fight, and people say, okay, well, you got to look at it from the father-son hat, in which, he's looking at his son. He didn't want his son to go out some kind of way, which some people say, okay, cool. Other people say, well, look, it was clear he could go on, regardless if his legs were shaking now, how he was pounding the canvas. You could say whatever you want, but it was clear he could go on with the fight. He could beat the count. He didn't get up as fast as he wanted to. Might have been some delayed reaction. So a lot of people were upset with that. It's very funny that Errol Spence came to the fight and pretty much when everybody figured out that Kenny actually stopped the fight, Errol left. Somebody interviewed Errol and they asked him, he was like, man, were you frustrated? He was like, he came in, referring to Porter, he was like, he came in wearing that war shit. He was like, his daddy shouldn't have stopped the fight. And he left. And I'm on a lot of channels this morning seeing a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. It's like all these crazy narratives. We do this. Like, that's why this whole pound for pound stuff, this greatest fighter stuff, all of it is just, it gets away from us actually getting the fight. So now the narrative is Errol Spence came all the way to the Bud Porter fight just to leave early because he was scared of Bud. Like, why even get out of bed? Why even waste a prime time Saturday night to come see a fight that you have or a fighter that you don't have any interest in fighting? But the narrative on all these bug dick riding, knee pad wearing, lip gloss wearing, Wi-Fi selling, Bud only fans are saying that Spence is scared. I mean, make that make sense. He was frustrated because he was like, look, if you gonna come in there talking about war, you can't be raising the white flag. And it wasn't like he got knocked out. He got knocked down and had a reaction, but he could beat the count. So it was like, he was more frustrated that the fight got stopped. That says nothing about how Spence would do against Bud. And everybody saying, oh, we knew that he was going to take, everybody was going to take away from the Bud victory because it was against Shawn Porter. People are not taking away from that victory. They're actually giving Bud all the praise, but people are stopping when it comes to the knee pads. Now, he's not the greatest ever. When Adrian Broner dropped him, when Spence dropped him, I mean, that didn't make them the greatest ever just because they dropped Shawn Porter. He wasn't a foreigner being dropped. He was a foreigner to either be knocked out or stopped. And everybody is saluting Bud and saying, hey, you did your thing. You did what you were supposed to do at the end of the day. You did what you were supposed to do. People were frustrated with Kenny because they thought that it was a premature stoppage. I mean, depending on what angle you want to look at it, I could agree, I could disagree. That's not the point. The point now is, okay, that's out the way. Now we need to get Spence versus Bud now. The fight everybody's been waiting for. But now it's this narrative floating around that Spence didn't really want it. Oh, he in trouble now. It's like, stop it. Oh, Nobody's taking away from it. What people were upset was Kenny stopping the fight prematurely, and then the comments that Kenny made after the fight. He was saying that the difference was Sean's preparation for the fight. And he pretty much threw Sean in the bus. Some people are reasoning that was a way to be able to, you know, shield his son from some of the backlash, you know, of the results of the fight. You know, some people were just saying it was just downright disrespectful. However, that says nothing to the Spence Bud fight. Now he got options. He should move up. The boxing boys, they were saying he should move up and fight Andre. Trying to be on some old Canelo shit. Like, come on, man. You want these people to be their own men, and now everybody's encouraging, and everybody's saying, oh, it's either Bud should move up and do bigger and better things, or Spence is scared. So now all these narratives trying to drive the fight further apart when we're closest as ever to actually getting the fight. Make that make sense.
Let that bitch breathe.
Some people saying that, you know, they trying to say the pay to lose thing, nosedive and all that. I don't know anything about all that. I just put it up because it's interesting, especially after the fight. We come to learn that Sean Porter was actually contemplating retirement, and that win, lose, or draw in this Bud fight, he was going to retire. So if we believe him, then it's like, okay, well, how much praise and how much worship do you give Bud for that victory when you was fighting somebody that was 1 foot in and 1 foot out? How much praise do he get? We say, yeah, you did what nobody else could do. Salute, you did your thing. Like, that's nothing against you. But, like, come on, we got to stop with the jokes, because any fighter that's thinking about, oh, man, this is my last fight or whatever, this is my last hoorah. If that was the case, Kenny should have let him go all out if that was his last hoorah, and they knew that. But then to hindsight, that's just like Lomachenko saying, my shoulder after the T.O. loss. You know, Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather in his shoulder, and then after Manny Pacquiao and August, my legs, my head cramps in my leg. Come on, man. But we come to learn that after the fight, that Sean was contemplating retirement, and that rain, sleet, or snow, he was going to retire after this fight.
Let that bitch breathe.
So the boxing guy delivered, and then we hear these kind of things after the fight, and the whole weirdness surrounding it, around in the fight, and then the actual scoring of the fight. Now I'm to actually judge that fight round by round, and it was controversial. Some people said that they had Terrence thoroughly dominated. Max said that it was an odd, even round where Sean took all the odd rounds, Bud took all the even rounds, and then Bud took over. Some people had Sean up. I think they had Sean up 6-3. So the scorecards were all over the place, you know. But scoring, I mean, this fight, in order to guarantee anything, Bud did what he needed to do by actually, you know what I'm saying, taking matters into his own hands and actually getting a stoppage. How that stoppage came about is, you know, another discussion. And then Errol Spence's reaction after the fight, without this man saying anything factual. I'm on here asking all these channels, what did Spence say to say that he didn't want to fight? So he said he came in there wearing that war shit. His daddy should have stopped the fight, and he left. People saying, well, why he didn't get in the ring? Well, if he could have gotten in the ring, do you think ESPN was going to let him in the ring? And if he wasn't interested in the Bud fight, why would he even go to the fight? Your favorite content creators are putting this kind of bullshit out, and everybody's actually soaking it up, just like on some Canelo knee pad wearing OnlyFans type shit. We saw that Bud is the truth. We saw his full skills out on display against an opponent of the caliber of a Sean Porter who has fought almost everybody. And so we salute him. But that don't mean we gotta start shitting on Spence, man. Come on with the jokes. Body work.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
day, I'm just fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
As you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid on the ring. You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
You guys jump outside the ring in the fighter, like I said before, ain't no safety on the Glock, so